Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
This is a public service announcement from the Dave and Juan More Time podcast. There should be at least a 2-week break in between your front yard being decorated with skeletons and various roo-ga-roos, and the placing of the baby Jesus in a nativity scene? Really, folks? Freddy Krueger and our Lord and Savior should have at least 2 lawn mowings between their residencies on your lawn. That is all, people, and thank you for your attention to this matter. This is Dave and Juan. Mo.
And 3.
Number 2.
Follow that up with a 1.
Woohoo!
America. Hey, as always, you are
You're welcome.
100%. You're so welcome. What are they welcome for? We're back. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Thank you. Gonna go ahead here, Juan, and set the timer just because, just to let America know. You know,
Hey,
I'm not.
We try to keep on the schedule.
Because, you know, not that we're going to stop exactly when the timer says, it's just to give me a heads up of, wow, okay, you've been doing this a while. Yeah. You've been. I had that happen today with a. I was in a meeting and the priest, and I'm not saying, you know, a priest was talking. It wasn't at a mass. It was at something. Something else that I attended, and this is not a criticism, even though it sounds like a criticism. But I can tell when people, and I guess because I do a little bit of speaking for a living, and I can tell when people are not 100% prepared or sure of what it is, like what's the final point going to be, or what's the ta-da, you know, this is right.
Where do you tie the bow?
And so you can tell when like all of a sudden it just looks like things are popping into his head. Bro, he spoke for an hour.
Oh, wow.
An hour. Not when I say an hour, I don't mean 40 minutes. I mean an hour. Now look. And
Not in mass though.
Not a mass. This was a separate meeting, and honestly, a lot of what he talked about was really good. He could have stopped at 20, 35, 45. Then what happens is, you know, people start talking and you're rambling a bit and you go off and you think things are going well. You talk, but you forgot about what you wanted to say. So you basically took
you got to reel it back in.
And especially when you like, here's the deal with the Bible. If you really know the Bible well, dude, you can talk for 4 days.
Yeah.
Right. There's always I was impressed at one thing he wanted to make, something he wanted to quote. He was like, does anybody have a Bible in here? And somebody, you know, handed up a Bible, and he knew what he was looking for, and he knew where in the Bible to go looking for it, which that in itself, that's impressive. That's because the Bible's not laid out like an encyclopedia or dictionary where like, okay, it begins with this letter and I know where to look. So right. And, man, he's doing that. And I'm thinking, wow, okay, that must be the point. This must be coming toward the mic drop part. No, that was just some tangent he had gone off on. And then it was obvious when he was done, he remembered what he wanted to talk about. So, and it's weird. I don't know. I'm sitting there thinking, all right, why are you here? You're here for good reasons, and I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to be the guy that's going to look at my watch every 2-3 minutes, because other people kind of were, right? And you just thinking, and then it gets to the point of, how long are you going to go, bro? I mean, now.
It's like, yeah, it's like a challenge now. Can you keep on going?
Yeah, he was fine. I knew we had an out, however, this meeting was about 2 hours, okay, about 2 hour total, and he spoke for over an hour of it, okay. When there was a mass coming up, and he dropped it. Well, I got to say the next mass, and I'm like, well, all right.
Yeah, it's a hard out right there.
You got about 1,500 to 2,000 people down the street here waiting. But yeah, it was all good.
In my church for the service, there's, call it a confidence monitor. It's a big,
right.
It's got scriptures and everything on it. But it's also got, basically a countdown clock on it for the sermon, or each segment of the service has it. And I've gotten the habit where I'll look back at it, or it's like, it's like I'm gambling with myself where I say, okay, I think there's about 13 minutes left. Let me
Oh,
turn
and you're
around
hoping
and
that
see.
you're right. And when you look
Yeah,
back
and
and
it's
it's
not,
longer.
I'm not in a hurry. But today, okay, I went to the late service, which means there's no hard out. Uh, and he went so long because the first few minutes they'll run it like a negative clock on it.
Mhm.
At one point, I looked back and it was totally off. I said, "All right, he's going and he ain't stopping
And
anytime
nobody's
soon."
pulling them, and it's like and listen, y'all, these are don't even trying to sound
No, it's not a complaint. I enjoy it. I'll stay as long. Look, I don't because I get mad when people leave early.
I spent so between the thing I went to and the mass that I went to afterwards that was not a short mass and the drive there and back, dude, I got 4.5, 5 hours
Yeah, you got a day.
invested in
The
trying to be a
Lord.
better person.
Yeah.
Trying to be a better. And yet I'm sitting there going, "Oh man, come on, bro. You can cut that." And then I didn't want to feel bad. I'm sitting in this. I'm sitting in this. And those of you that don't go to church, sorry, suck it up for a little bit. We're talking about church stuff
Yeah,
right
it's
now.
coming up. You'll be in that for Christmas. Yeah,
That's
get the
right. Yeah, exactly.
CDs,
Yeah, you twice
taking
a
up my
year.
seats.
You twice a yearers. Get ready. But I'm sitting in the back of this big, and it is a church, but it's really a meeting room. It's massive because this parish is building a new a church, and it's going to be stunning. It is. I've never seen a church of this size being built from the ground up. The metal beams
Mm-hmm.
and everything taking place, and it is just massive. It's a huge, several thousand family parish, and growing. But I'm sitting there, and I happened to just get there. This was the week of, I guess, let's sign up. Let's hand out the little cards and sign up for, if you're so moved by the Spirit to, I guess, set up your donations or whatever it
Yeah.
is. I wasn't even exactly 100% sure what they were doing, but it wasn't my parish. So I got to, I'm sitting there like, and I'm by myself for this thing. Right? My wife was, so I'm like the couillon, like, I'm looking cheap is what I'm saying. You know, I'm looking,
Not giving you a lot of money. I mean, I'm doubling up.
I know, man, exactly. I can't, I'll, I'll toss you something in the basket when it comes around, but I'm
Yeah,
not,
it's like, bro, I did over there. You got to point it out.
I don't belong here.
Yeah.
This isn't even my church. But all good, all good. I got back in time to see the Texans win a extremely boring game. Texans won today. The Saints,
Saints didn't lose.
they did not lose. They did not play,
Right.
which is a positive. But good news for the Saints fans. Apparently this week, Gail Benson came out and said, "You are an
Yeah.
absolute fool if you think
Yes.
she's getting rid of that MVP, Mickey Loomis." I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. He had a great draft in 2006.
I mean, yeah. I mean, why would you got Drew Brees by accident? And it was Sean Payton that basically
Yeah.
got back 100 years ago. Kind of goes. It just comes down to that. You want to ask, well, Gail, if there was a draft for general managers right now and the same money for everything, how many do you think are picking Mickey?
As Bobby Abel likes to say, what have you done for me lately?
What have you done for me lately? Oh, Bob. It seems Bobby's been popping up on I don't know, for some reason. He popped up on a few things. The only person that's popping up more, or well, not the only person, but the person that's popping up way more that I'm just sick and tired of is Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Oh, dude, yeah.
MTG, those of you that, and again, we're kind of jumping sports here because I want to come back to sports stuff, but I just don't know why this popped into my head. Enough. I'm just tired of it. I'm like, if those of you that don't know who she is, she's the congresswoman from Georgia. And actually, she's a congresswoman not far from where I used to live. All right. Very conservative part of Georgia. You may remember her. She's a blonde, very, very blonde, short, I don't know why it's short, but she's just,
Yeah.
and she was a super, super Trump supporter. I mean, MAGA, MAGA, MAGA. She was the most MAGAfied of the MAGA MAGAs.
Right. And then she decided, well, if If you're gonna go against Trump, what better place to do that than on The View?
Oh, well, that's part of it. She actually went on The View. But it started showing up when she was popping up on CNN and
Hmm.
these other things. Here's the deal, and I mean there are all of them. Like I think AOC is the biggest narcissist in the world, but most of them are. So, and you can go find the footage somewhere with Marjorie Taylor Greene or MTG for a couple of years ago, posting social media like her workout, like doing push-ups and pull-ups and stuff. And I'm like, I'm sorry, if you are a politician, I don't care if male, female, or how you identify, if you are putting out footage of your workout, you should be impeached on the spot. Like, like,
And
like
I would extend that to Robert F. Kennedy Jr.
him. Yeah,
I don't need to see you doing pull-ups. I don't need
now,
to see you
now,
doing
now,
push-ups.
the only
He's
possible,
probably a lot better at it.
no, but the only possible where you
Yeah,
might,
I know where you're going with that.
yeah, exactly. Well, you might like give him a little slack is okay. He's in charge. He's
He's in
the
charge of
charge of
health.
health. So it's sort of like what's his face that's in charge of the department. You got to get used to saying Department of War. It's not the Department of Defense anymore. But
Right.
what's his name?
Hegseth.
Pete Hegseth,
Hegseth.
right? So the fact that he gets out there and does some of the workouts with the troops, yeah, I think it's kind of self-serving, but you can almost say, all right, I get it. But
Well,
if
but
you're just
I get that because it's almost like, hey, you know what? If I should lead you, if I'm going to lead you, I should be able to do this.
ought to be able to do it.
Or if I'm going to
Um,
say, we're re-implementing rigor into the fitness requirements, I'm
and
going to
I'll,
show you that I can do it.
and Hegseth, I mean, he stood in front of a room full of 3 and 4 star generals and whatever, and a lot of them are like fat tub of goose,
Hmm.
tubs of goo, and yeah, he basically called them all out. Like you guys are all gonna, I can see that. I think to me it's more you got to put an age qualification in there. Like if you're a general in your mid 60s,
Yeah.
I don't, you know what I'm saying? You're not gonna be fighting anybody with a bayonet anytime soon.
I would think, you've probably earned that extra meal.
That's right. You know what? At a certain point, after a certain amount of tours, I
Yeah.
think I deserve that. I can have a big vaunt. I mean, vaunt is stomach, y'all. For those of you that Cajun word of the day.
Now I'm a little, distressed because I did see this week that I guess it's Frito-Lay, that in following Kennedy Jr.'s I guess suggestion, or I don't know if it's a it's the policy yet. They're removing the artificial dye from Cheetos and nacho cheese Doritos, both of which I really enjoy.
Yeah, but you don't enjoy the color.
I know, but it's just gonna be a little different. I don't
What's
enjoy the Cheeto grunge on my fingers
what's
either.
going to freak you out is that you're going to see that they taste the absolute same.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You just are not going to be glowing neon because that stuff is designed to, right? It's like look at it like a Mountain Dew. You think any liquid in nature is the color of a Mountain Dew? I mean, and we drink that. I mean, I do. I love it. Look, I get excited. It's kind of funny. Like, I usually take a picture and I'll send it to you and some friends. I always say, "Oh, I'm tell when I'm talking at a class event when there's Diet Mountain Dew cans in the back of the, you drinking stuff that looks like it looks like when it comes out. I mean,
That's not on your speaking rider, man.
yes, that's what I'm gonna start. But so I'm all for that. Get rid of the.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
But
100%.
what sucks is the fact that that's has to be done. And which is annoying. Here's the thing that's there's a long list of things that I guess that are annoying to me. One of the things is all the infighting going on right now on the Republican side. Not that they're all right, just that it's so all the things that you kind of hoped, or at least some of the things you'd hope they would get done, that everybody's behind. Like there are certain topics, there's certain things that I'm telling you, 75-80% of Americans are like, yeah,
Republicans, historically don't know how to win,
well, because they're not.
and or let's say they don't know what to do when they're in power.
Well, they are. There are a lot of people that get into power under the name of "quote unquote" Republican that aren't. No, they aren't really. They got in, and they're. And at the end of the day, I know we've talked about this before, but DC and the government it's its own company. It's like a company town. DC is a company town, and you might work for different departments if you're a Republican or a Democrat, or you get to pretend who gets to run it, but they all get rich. Uh,
Yeah.
I don't know how much of this is true, and I'll say this right now, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but I've read it in more than one place by a couple of credible people that say, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, and again, I'm just picking on her because she's everywhere now. All right. They're saying something like her net worth went up something like $20 million in the
And
past 4 or 5 years.
right.
They're making they make 100 something thousand a year salary. So they're all apparently
Yeah,
so
and don't get
damn
me wrong.
crooked.
It's $100 something thousand is nothing. Yeah, their salary's nothing to sneeze at, but it's not something you get to be a millionaire
You
off
you
of.
you you don't quintuple and octuple, I don't even know what that word is.
Yeah.
Your money that quick. So what's frustrating to me about that are some of the things that people are all behind, like this H-1B stuff. Hey, yeah, and it's things that's been going on forever, and most of us, and I think you're probably like me. I like to think I pay attention. I like to think I'm relatively, I'm not often surprised by something that's been around for a long time, and you just go, "Oh, really?" And the H-1B stuff is one that snuck up on me about the game they've been playing. These big companies have been playing,
Right. They get all this cheap labor.
bringing in, foreigners, and I'm sorry, they're all foreigners. They're not
Hmm.
naturalized Americans. They're foreign, bringing them in, claiming that these are jobs that Americans won't do, or there isn't a supply of Americans to do them. And we're
Right.
finding out, oh no, they've been lying the whole time.
Right. They ain't garbage, man.
Here's the deal. A lot of the jobs they're bringing in actually pay less than garbage men. These jobs are supposed to be for like engineers, something.
Well, that's the whole thing. I'm saying that they're bringing them in because they can pay them a whole lot less than they would pay an American to do the job.
Correct, but then they're also bringing people in for jobs that, I mean, I can walk across Nickel State right now and grab juniors who aren't even graduated and give them like a month training, and they could nail these jobs. I mean,
Yeah.
lower management jobs that so big shock, y'all. They've been cheating. Big business has been cheating, and well, some of you thinking, well, how does that affect me? Here's how it affects you. Your young people in this country are being screwed out of decent jobs, which
Right. You
means
don't get the job, then it shifts the fair market value of the position.
and even if they can't get a job exactly, it's not paying what it would naturally pay. And then you got all the housing issues that are coming in, and all. It's just so that part has me nauseated. The cleaning up the election system stuff. Just hey, can we all agree that you probably shouldn't be able to vote if you did? Probably. I you know, you need an ID for everything in life right now,
Yeah.
except for
Voting.
to pick right. That stuff. Now, and they're just few. Just you know things we're going to do, and now they're making a big stink about the Epstein list again.
Dude, could that just go? I don't care at this point about that. And I don't know that I ever really did. To that extent, look, I guess I do because it was, crime against young women.
Right.
But it shouldn't be political ploy.
It is, and we all know. Look, you know what it is. You know what it's about, and everybody's pretending that it's because somebody specific is on it. No, no, it's a ton of people and a
Right.
ton of powerful politicians, powerful business people. It also, I guarantee you, will show. It, Epstein worked with us. We 100% kept that guy out of jail. And when I say we, I mean the government. You pick whatever
Right.
agency,
Right.
and another popular country that he may be associated with. So that's what's being protected for
Right.
whatever reason.
If that weren't the case, it would have come out before. Come out under Biden.
Look, here's all you need to know, y'all. If it was just a matter, people already forget. They act like Trump has been in for the last 30 years. He just got back in about a year ago.
Yeah.
All right, a little over a year ago. Okay. Well, actually, not even. He got
No,
elected.
no, 10 months, or
He's
he
been
got
back in office.
elected
So,
a year ago.
which meant the other regime, which hated him with a level of hate that they showed. Okay. Do you, for a second, think that if Trump was on that list or guilty in a way that would destroy him, that they would have kept that thing buried?
Right.
Are you kidding me? Are you
I
kidding
mean,
me?
think about it. Hillary Clinton, who ran against Trump first, had made up stuff, and her husband was buddy buddy with Epstein. If Trump was bad on the list, they could. I'm sure
So,
Epstein wasn't dead then.
but here's the
They
funny
said,
thing.
"Hey,
So,
buddy,
so
hook
all
me
this
up."
stuff going on, and the big fight right now is Trump and MTG, and they're those two. And then it's weird. And again, those of you that aren't into politics, I'm sorry, we're dragging this stuff into. What's crazy here is everybody's fighting with everybody else now. Like Tucker and Ben Shapiro, and Tucker and Mark Levin, who is an idiot. I don't like Mark Levin. Candace is on war with everybody. She's like, those of you that know who Candace Owens is, she's very, very, very influential. One of the most watched, I guess, podcast in the country. She is either the biggest truth teller in the world, or she's lost her ever loving mind. I don't know which it is, because she's very compelling. She's very right.
Well, because basically everybody, or darn near everybody, who was a solid ally of hers, she's flipped on.
Exactly. And then I'm looking at, like, I'm here in Texas. I've been a long time. I'm a Ted Cruz supporter, but I also really like Tucker Carlson. And man, all they do all day long is hate on each other. And I'm just sort of like, hey, can somebody call was Charlie Kirk keeping it all together? Was he like, I mean, I just wonder, like,
oh, you mean like he was the one guy who was
like, was Charlie Kirk like the one,
the go-between between everybody?
was he the one? Was he the guy that kept everybody? I don't know.
So is Tucker going after Ted Cruz?
Oh my, like in a way that I have to replay it to listen to it. Like, oh, dude, calling him. Oh, yes. You go find it. Tucker for the last few weeks has been nothing but, and I'm talking cut to the core, calling him things and questioning everything about, so yeah, exactly. And then Cruz doing the same thing, and it's sort of like, man, guys, and while this is going on, New York and Seattle both just elected socialist mayors.
Yeah.
So that was
And then
Seattle
our favorite
did, huh?
Democrat, Fetterman, fell on his face.
And he's my favorite guy now. I was actually upset when Fetterman fell down. I was like,
Well, I read the headlines that falls on his face. I just thought it was like an expression. Then I realized, oh my God, this is legit.
Apparently he had some kind of heart issue or at his house on a walk or something, fell down and hit his face pretty good. He probably put like a 20 stitches, I guess, in his forehead.
Yeah, kudos to him, though. He's not hiding it. It's like him sitting there with a cup of coffee.
Man,
look how bad I look.
Look, and I will admit it, Juan, but a couple, 3 years ago,
yeah.
We were just like, this guy, it was like everything that's wrong with this country and the political system was that this guy was going to become a senator when following a stroke, and the guy could not form a sentence.
Couldn't speak in the debate.
But I think he has given I'll put it this way, he's given every stroke victim in the world hope.
Well,
let me tell you.
It also shows you how politics works, though, because, when he couldn't speak to have a debate, all the Democrats were, how dare you, go out against somebody with handicap or a person who's handicapped.
Right.
When he started flipping to where he had some sense, then all the Democrats were saying he's got mental issues.
Yeah, now they're mad at him. It's like, oh, wait a minute. We liked him till he started, forming full sentences and realized, oh, wait, he's not 100% on our on our side. But and you know what else I admire about Fetterman? He's never posted a video doing push-ups or pull-ups or. That guy's just a short-wearing,
a hoodie guy,
straight talker. But we are doing this today. We're mid-November doing this, and it's one of these things about living in the South. Some of these years living, I'm in the Houston area. First of all, mid-November, mosquitoes are insane outside my house. I mean, insane. And the little ones, the little fast-flying.
It feels like it's gnats. They're so small, but gnats don't bite at you.
And they swarm. It's awful. It's freaking awful how bad the mosquitoes around my house is. But then, it's 80, it's in the mid 80s
Yeah,
today.
yeah.
So I'm dry. There are people are putting Christmas decorations all over the neighborhood already, which just I get it, but I just feel bad for Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday and typically my favorite holiday, especially when you get together with family.
Hmm.
But nobody, we don't even we go straight from werewolves on the lawn to Christmas presents. We just blow right by it. There's a house down the street from here, like a next neighborhood, who I guess bought one of these. And I guess bought. They bought it or stole it. They have it. 15-foot werewolf, these huge werewolf statues for Halloween. They still got that thing in New York.
They're getting their money's worth.
I think they just said, well, they said, screw that. We paid like $700 for that. We're going to keep it up, and or realize where are we going to store that thing? Because they got it home and
Yeah,
they put it straight up,
it's a great idea till you got to take it down.
and now you got like a 15-foot artificial werewolf. Maybe they'll put a Santa hat on it, or something. But
I don't know. We did my office building. We do it early because I guess the work involved
I saw you posted that. It's very
in,
lovely. Your
in
office
getting
looks
it
lovely.
done. But I tell you what, Dave, whenever I retire, I think I'm going into corporate Christmas lighting because that babe was a pretty penny.
It's pricey. It's pricey.
Very. I'll tell you off air how much I paid for it because I don't want to get in trouble.
No, I look. I know what they charge around here to put lights on houses, and that's just individual houses. And I'm not sure. I guess some of them show up and they put their own lights. You can hire people to put their own
This
lights.
guy, right? It's their lights. We don't own any of it.
Yeah.
So, but then my side hustle with that business is going to be a little rinky-dink train that you bring to parties to lug kids around in because we had like a family night at the office the other night. And it's just they do it every other year. It's not necessarily around Christmas, but it's you bring your family and you got food and everything and beer and wine for the adults with a lot of kid activities. But so this thing it was basically pulled by the engine was a lawnmower that had, I guess, just plywood cut out in the shape of a train. And then if you ever go to the gardening section at Lowe's and they've got those little green carts for you to put your plants on, I think that's what the other parts were. And again, just the little plywood thing on it. Where a guy who works with me, he said he had it loaded up with people and he couldn't make it up the hill.
Oh, really?
I said, what hill? We don't have a hill out here.
This is Baton
There's a
Rouge.
little slope going up to the little drive-through branch.
Biggest hill in Baton Rouge is going to be on a golf course.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
But so everybody had to get off, and I asked the next day. I said, "What we pay that guy?" The event was like 2.5 hours, $1,000.
Really?
And I said, "Oh man, that's my business right there. I'll go to a kid. Yeah, you pay some kid $10 an hour to go to a kid's party with that thing, and
Yeah, we used to get petting zoos. I don't think we ever got one here, but we had a lot of kids, like friends of, growing up, and you'd show up and yeah, they had a couple of places around here where for birthday parties and stuff, and they'd basically bring the petting
yeah, they
zoo.
bring that's I think at Easter, or a couple weeks before Easter, they do a big thing for special needs kids at my church. And they bring like a petting zoo, and it's just everybody comes out, or you rent them from somewhere, and they just come with their animals.
So we're going to see. It's about that time. Every year depends on how it strikes me whether or not I feel like doing Now my wife does the inside decoration. She does a lovely job, and that's the work. I mean, I'm glad she enjoys it because our Christmas tree is just it's a lot. It's not a massive tree because our living room ceiling is maybe 9 feet, I think, maybe 9. So it's not one of these. I got a buddy of mine's got a 15-foot Christmas tree. It's like that's insane. But just with she could decorate at least another tree, maybe another 2 trees with what gets left in the box.
We had the house we lived in before, I've talked about this. It was the living room opened up to the second floor. So the ceiling was about 18 feet tall.
Oh,
Well, you had to get a big tree, or it just looked like you didn't have a tree. So for years, we would buy a 15-foot live tree,
whew,
which was
man.
massively expensive.
You bet.
And
I bet.
it's the most expensive it was the day you pulled it outside and threw it at the curb. That's when it felt like I cannot believe I paid for this 3 weeks ago and I'm throwing it away.
That's the kind of tree you got to keep water on, man, because
Oh yeah, yeah. And then a couple of years after, or a couple of years before we moved, we bought like a 12, 13-foot artificial tree, pre-lit and all that stuff. Well, then I moved to a house with a 9-foot ceiling, and it's like, well, now I got this tree.
can't just chop the top of those trees off,
Right.
right?
And so then I started rigging. I cut the bottom of it off. Um, and then a couple of years ago, the light started going bad on it. And then, she's trying to figure it out. I said, just go get another tree.
They're
You
so
can spend.
expensive, man.
Oh,
I,
dude, it's insane.
and it's almost like I guess I lost my wife has never lost the ambition, the love of doing that. When the kids were younger, it's sort of like, hey, man, your kids aren't kids anymore. They're men. They're out the house. It's like, you kind of like, why let's just do something a little more, I don't say tasteful, but a little more subdued.
A little more moderate.
But what happens is over the years, you accumulate so many Christmas decorations.
Yeah,
And
we used to literally the kids would have smaller, like 4-foot trees in their rooms.
wow.
And so we
Okay.
had decoration for them.
Yeah, no. But we have over time, like my wife has a lot of nativity scenes, Christmas town scenes, figurines. Dude. So
We have from when Joey went to Australia, we have a koala bear nativity scene. One of probably 5 or 6 that are set up in various places in the house.
now what is cool, and I give my wife credit for this because it's not the kind of thing I would have ever had the ambition to go with. So I want to say from the time the kids were like born, every Christmas she would get an ornament that was whatever they were doing at the time. Like Abe was like a guitar. Sometimes with
Yeah, we
Jesse
have
it
those.
was singing notes, whatever. And then she would write on the back of them what they were doing at that time. So we got a ton of those. And then every time we went on vacation,
On
especially
vacation, you get one from where you go.
so yeah, our Christmas tree is a map of the country. I mean,
Right, it's a menagerie of
Menagerie.
memories. I don't even know if menagerie is the right word there.
so that's coming up. I'm gonna have to do. I
It's
mean,
meaningful.
that's we're probably going to be in Louisiana for Thanksgiving, and I'm sure when we get back, that's one of those. And I give her credit. It's just, and I try to stay out the way. You have that line between you want to help, but my help is not always
Right, my help ain't no help.
because I don't do it right, or I don't care enough,
My
or
help is standing at the bottom of the attic's ladder and catching the stuff.
well, ours is in the garage, so hopefully you take the cases out and you double check, make sure you don't have like roach or mouse turds on anything from coming out, and then you just and you roll with it. But anyway, so Christmas updates to come, y'all. It's just interesting driving around 80 something degree, and 99.1 FM here in Houston became the Christmas station on November 1st.
Yeah.
So I'm driving today, AC blasting because it's 80 something degrees outside. And I'll say it again. They should have just let Dean Martin sing every Christmas song ever made. Dean Martin
Well,
is
that's the whole thing because you get that then, but they've also, XM radio has 4 or 5
yeah.
Christmas channels already. And I just want it to be a certain style.
Yes. Yes.
Like I don't need something and then Mariah Carey's
Correct.
version of this
Correct.
or In Sync sings,
that.
Silent Night.
Hate it. Just stick to like Burl Ives and Dean Martin.
Yeah, you give me the
weather outside is frightful.
right, the classics.
That's it, man.
Not
That's
the
it.
classics sung by,
There you go.
somebody else.
There you go. And in the spirit of, well, it's not Christmas, but Thanksgiving, I saw something just a while ago that, and it made me realize that I have never been into one of these stores in, it's got to be years now, Target. Target has announced they're dropping the prices on 3,000 food, beverage, and essential items for Thanksgiving. So they're saying they're going to have the least expensive things. Have you ever shopped Target for food?
I think I mean not Thanksgiving food. We do groceries. I
Do
say
you?
we
I guess at some time in
not
our life.
often. I mean because we do Walmart delivery. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, my wife does that every now and then too. But like to me, shopping for food and Target never felt.
no, it's not. I'm not going to buy my Thanksgiving turkey at Target. Or
Apparently that's.
I don't know. I say that, and we might. Um,
But
but this is
no, I don't know if I don't know if they sell transvestite turkeys.
well, that's the
That's
whole thing.
Target.
It's like I
That's
sit down and say, you know what? Eh, I'm not participating in what I consider to be a socially manufactured food shortage or hunger or harder than ever before.
well, like I said, my thing with Target. I guess I have been in one of the last few years because I made the comment to you sometime, and we've only been doing this podcast like 4 years, whatever, and we're doing it. But I was in a Target, I guess, sometime in the last few years when I commented, who takes these pictures? Like the ugliest people you're going to run into on a daily this week are the people pictured
The
in the
models
Target.
of Target.
Like they literally go to find a freak show. And by the way, don't get me wrong. God bless America. We're all children of God. Hey, look, but advertising used to be like, show
All
me a
right, you have to
picture,
be the
show
pretty
me a
people to be in
picture
an
of
ad.
somebody that makes me want to be that. Like,
Right.
I want to look like that guy, or I want to date somebody who looks like
Right.
that
I don't want to
girl,
see an outfit and pictures of somebody who looks like me.
or worse. That's the
Right.
worst part. Now, if the goal is to make you feel better about yourself, okay.
Mission accomplished.
So when Target tells me they're going to drop the prices on several thousand food items, I'm still like, yeah, but do I have to look at those pictures in there? I mean, like
Yeah, well, who
that's
knew? I mean, several thousand. You know,
3,000. I would not have known that there are 3,000 food, beverage, and quote unquote essential items they could drop the price on. But that's apparently that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. What else is going on here, man? Oh yeah, I just stuff to stop. So you see where they're announcing or they float this stuff because I guess they figure people are idiots. But you know what? I guess we are. I guess we are idiots because people respond to things and you believe stuff. With the tariffs, right? You saw where Trump and whatever they're floating that they're going to do some rebates with all the money we're getting on the tariffs. Now, hang on a sec. All this tariff money is supposed to be just pay down the debt. That's the
right,
whole
right.
right? We are incredibly in debt. But so now they're saying, oh, the $2,000 dividend checks
Yeah,
if
that
you
ain't.
make under $100,000.
I can't believe anybody's really getting that. Um,
I can't see how.
but I told this girl that I work with, and we don't talk politics often because she is like massively woke. Um, and she was saying something about the $2,000 rebate. They said, well, you better give that back. You can't have that. And he said, oh no, I'll take it. I said, can't be taking that.
She was talking about, oh, so so she thinks she's going to get it.
Right, but well, she don't know if she's gonna get it, but she'll gladly take it from big orange man bad in her mind.
I don't think they're going to do it for a bunch of reasons.
I don't think they should.
100% they shouldn't. Yo, stop. Like, here's the deal. And that's
Yeah,
when
how
I
about
start
this? When
getting,
the debt's done
no,
and
no,
we
no,
got
no.
a big surplus,
That's when I get,
go ahead and kick
that's
some
when
in.
I start getting totally disgusted. So here's the deal. If everybody listens to this podcast lives to be 200 years old, the United States is going to be in more debt than it is right now. That's
Hmm.
just the world's probably going to be over. I'm not exactly sure. We'll be a socialist hellhole by then. I don't even know what's coming. But so don't talk to me about, oh, we're going to eliminate the debt because no, you won't, because as soon as you guys can't even lower. You can't even get rid of a temporary raise like the COVID stuff that they jacked up
Yeah,
all these government budgets with the thing saying, hey, we're going to end this when it's over, and they can't do that. So what gets me frustrated is when you're not taking on things like, okay, how do you actually make housing more affordable? All right, supply and demand.
right.
If you eliminate millions of people who are not supposed to be here, And that's just over the last few years. I mean, so we can have that different debate about, oh, if somebody's been here for 15, 20 years and they've been in society, blah. Okay, you know what? Letter of the law, that's still a problem. Okay. But all right, that's a discussion, an argument to have. But somebody that was in a Venezuelan jail 2 years ago,
No,
that's over here now on SNAP benefits, and that's happening, by the way. That's those are the kind of things that everybody out there sees. And so, wait a minute, if you're not going to address that, I don't want to hear about a $2,000.
right. Bottom line is supply and demand, because if you look at what they're talking about in New York City, where the whole, rent control, which means, okay, we're going to make housing more affordable by making it less profitable for people. Well, when it's less profitable, then the supply will go down because they won't build anymore. And then what you'll have is old rundown places. You see it in Baton Rouge where there's no rent control, but 8 years ago, what were the really nice apartment complexes are now the mid apartment complexes because somebody built new ones, and so everybody wanted to go to the new ones, which means now the people who have the mid ones have to lower their price to get people there, and you get a less desirable tenant, which then means the place gets run down.
Well, look what happened.
And it's if people can't make money off of it, they're not. Why would they build?
Look what happened in Thibodeau. Those of you that are around, again, I'm talking some topics that are very specific to certain parts of the country here. When Nichols, our alma mater, got into the apartment business.
Mm-hmm.
When Nichols decided, hey, there's some good money to be made by putting apartments on our campus.
Right.
And guess what happens? All the students, or most of the students, a lot of students, stay there. And what happens? All these apartments that were just down Audubon and in the area.
Right, other than mine, which is a shrine, by the way. Yeah. They charge money to go in it.
Look, I drive by. Like I said, I lived in a trailer for a couple of years. And dude, we were living high on the hog in that little trailer park right there on the end of Audubon.
Mm-hmm. I know where you were.
We were living in a new trailer. Our neighbors, one of my neighbors was a music teacher at Nichols. The other one was an ROTC instructor at Nichols. So Nichols teachers, professors living, now, and listen, I hope I'm wrong. But when I drive that area now, I'm not seeing.
No, you're not seeing any other thing and that's how, look, the apartment complexes near campus, the same way with LSU, become student housing, which means they've got some connection to government money or some, probably low interest loan to build it. And then you could pay for those apartments through your tuition as though you were renting or staying in an apartment or in a rundown dorm on campus.
Well, again, when I'm elected, I'll get all that fixed.
Right. Ain't nobody asking us about that. But speaking of Nichols, and we mentioned earlier this week that LSU won. LSU's interim coach is a Nichols graduate. So, as is the president of the university, which we mentioned recently.
I think it's time that we just announced the plan that, Nichols has been working on for a while, and that's just taking over the state.
Right. Total Louisiana domination.
So the president of LSU is now a Nichols grad. The interim coach of LSU is a Nichols grad. Ed Orgeron never graduated Nichols. I'm about to say the last guy that won a championship, he's from South Lafourche.
Bayou, close enough.
Need to find a Nichols grad to run for governor. Somebody got to take on, I don't know what's going to happen with Jeff. I'm guessing Jeff's going to run again.
I'm sure, unless he runs for Senate.
I just don't, I got some people that talk about that.
But the way Louisiana is, you don't have to. I don't know when the next Senate race is here. I don't know if it would coincide with that. You could still be governor and run for Senate.
Maybe so. We didn't even talk about the Brian Kelly thing today.
Dude, we joked about that. It's like, how could you mess up more than LSU has? What do you mean we fired Brian Kelly?
Listen, I don't know who bears most of the blame for that situation, but LSU looks like a freaking clown show with the way the whole
right.
Brian Kelly.
For some reason you don't know what we're talking about. It came out earlier, I guess last week by the time you're listening to this, that LSU was saying, well, yeah, he wasn't fired.
They're saying that Woodward, his name
Woodward didn't have
didn't have the. He's the athletic director. Well, how
right.
wouldn't he have the authority to fire the guy? And maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But they made it damn clear coming out of the secrets, secret meetings and all this other stuff that he was gone.
Well, I talked to somebody today who works for the LSU athletic department. And he said, all I can tell you is that Brian Kelly's key card didn't open the door of the athletic building anymore.
So you're not fired. You just can't get into the office.
Right.
Okay. So, and here's what and this could be wrong. This is just me speculating. You played chicken with a guy that's got no soul. He don't.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, from the stories that are coming out, and that's the thing. Like, oh wait, they're going to blackmail him. They're thinking they're going to blackmail. You can't blackmail somebody who says, "Hey, whatever." Yeah, I did that. I did that
because
too.
some of the stuff, and I don't want to go into that because we've got a friend.
We don't want to slander anybody in case it's not true.
But there are things that basically was LSU's hinge pin on saying we ain't paying you the 50 something million. We're going to give you this and you're going to take it because if not, we're going to say that this is why we fired you for cause, and releasing some pretty unscrupulous things about his personal life.
Correct.
But
that works.
That
works until the guy says,
now, okay.
You know what? If it was $2 or $3 million, but if you're telling me it's $20 to $25 million extra, hey, I tell you what, drag my name through the mud.
Like, look at the hot chick Ed Oderon got, and he only got about 10 or 12.
And he had to give most of that away, I think. Right?
Half of it back. Yeah.
He had to give it. So who knows? But that's what's going on, and you got to ask yourself. No, I don't think any name coach. No, we could be shocked, but who wants that job now?
Well, I mean, if I'm LSU after the debacle that started, whenever before this week started, I just said, hey, look, here's your $53 million. Let's just shut it down. Let's just, how about we both sign an NDA? We don't talk about each other. We don't talk about anything. You take your money and go.
Because it's not a lump. They got to pay it out over
a certain number of years, and then there's no.
Of course, what I'm reading though, what I heard somewhere was that apparently the way Brian Kelly's contract was written, he specifically had some stuff written in there because of the way LSU has handled other stuff, because of the way LSU kind of handled Ed, right? There was stuff written into Brian Kelly's contract to force LSU. That's why they a week later went back and said, hey, just want to verify that you're going to be cutting us that check, a week after. And that's when they were like, oh, well, he wasn't really fired. It's just childish and big money childish, though. Gee whiz. Ed's sitting there thinking, man, that was a bargain.
At least I won.
So and then shout out to I can't remember the gentleman's name, the coach at
I don't know it either, sadly.
But here's the deal too, and again, I hate that they do this, but I guess I get it. It pops up. He's the first black coach to win a game at LSU. Now, here's my deal. I'm guessing he was the first black coach to ever coach a game at LSU.
Surely
LSU didn't have a black head coach that never won a game.
Maybe interim. I don't know. No, but most interims win.
I don't know.
But to that same extent, you didn't hear last week when Alabama beat the snot out of them that he was the first black coach to ever lose a game.
But I'm more worried about a Nichols grad. So good for him. And what the hell, man? Just roll with it. Let him. He probably at this point say, "Hey, I'll do it for."
Yeah, give me $5 million a year. At this point, you may have to.
Ridiculous. The thing that bothers me the most about Brian Kelly, though, by the way, and I don't want to make it sound this way, all the seedy stuff he did, and that's all, that's just not good. I'm more annoyed by the fact that it's come out that he played over 400 something rounds of golf.
Yeah. In
the 4 years he's been, and that's just at one golf course. I don't know how many other ones he played.
Yeah, because you hear these guys who are the big time coaches. They're in the practice facility at 3-4 a.m.
Not Brian Kelly. That dude was playing some golf. He was playing some golf, and apparently extracurricular stuff.
Right, right. Playing some other stuff.
And amazing LSU didn't win. But all right, so we spent enough on that. Let's see. We got Target out the way. What else? What else? Hey, are you going to sign up for one of those 50-year mortgages?
Here's what I thought about. I might sign up for one, and if I can get my mortgage down to like about $10 a year or something, and then I'll sell my house a couple of years
Another thing that annoys
for
me.
zero equity.
I got nothing against it in principle, but are you kidding me? A 50. So those of you that don't know what we're talking about, they floated that out a few weeks ago. If you already thought a 30-year, and 30 years is a long time, y'all. And a lot of you out there have 30-year mortgages. A lot of you have paid off 30-year mortgages. 50?
Look, I've bought a couple of houses in my life, and I always, when you go to closing and you got to initial that part or sign the part that shows you that if you pay this out at term, how much you're actually going to be paying with the principal and the interest accumulated.
Make you puke.
I hide that part with my hand.
Yeah.
Because it's like, I don't even want to know.
It'll make you puke.
Imagine a 50-year mortgage. I promise you, if you got a 50-year mortgage, what do you figure? 20 years before you pay a dime of the principal?
Oh, I'll bet you it's closer to 30. I mean, because even in a 30-year mortgage, you're like well into past year 10. You're basically renting that house.
Yeah.
Now, that said, if the house appreciates, if you live in an area,
that's where you make your money when the value appreciates.
You bought a house that was worth $300,000, now it's worth $500,000. It doesn't matter what you owe on it.
But still, it's kind of hard to not be upside down in that mortgage.
It is. So again, to me, it just strikes me as just another gimmick. And what happens is you expand the 50-year mortgages. So now theoretically, more people could afford to buy a home. Well, guess what happens? The price of the homes go up.
Right.
Because you got more demand now than you have supply, unless you fix the supply thing. It's not, the world, there's not one switch, y'all, that fixes everything. And that's what's
a balance.
That's what's annoying. That's what's annoying about I like this, the mayor of Seattle saying she will not allow grocery stores to close in Seattle.
What did that mean?
Well,
meaning go out of business?
I don't know.
Or close, they got to be 24 hours.
Because when you start talking about, oh, look, here's a good idea. We're not going to arrest people for shoplifting. And even people that get arrested are going to, like all the things they do that basically we're going to raise taxes on this. We're going to raise the minimum wage to an exorbitant amount. We're going to do all these things that are going to make it literally impossible for you to run a profitable business.
Right. If I can't go out of business, if I'm losing money,
well, that's the point.
Chance.
Yeah, exactly.
What taking the chance.
That's the deal. But that is the annoying thing to people that they just don't think. I mean, and I don't even know if it's their fault or not. Because somebody that's elected that says all the stuff they're going to do. Yeah, no, you're not. It's just
because guess what happens? Here's the whole deal.
Government-run stores
like that, grocery stores and businesses that are inventory driven. Well, if I'm not making any money, I can't buy any inventory, which means I can't make any money. So if I can't close, I got a store with 3 things in it.
Or even the ones that are trying in these cities that literally have to lock everything up.
Yeah.
So I can't even have 1 or 2 employees working and have people shop and they're just there to cash them out and to clean up and stuff. No. I literally have to have employees just unlock items.
Right. Yeah. You can't either that or, it's my register's going to go unwatched, which means I'm going to get more stuff stolen. Or I got to hire somebody to work the floor to unlock crap.
And who's going to shop? Who's going to, right?
We told the story multiple times. I'm not going to pay somebody to unlock underwear at Walmart so I can buy some drawers.
Because Juan wears the underwear favored by the shoplifters.
Exactly.
You get all the fruit of the loom you want. You want to go steal some fruit of the loom? Walmart's more than happy to see you steal those fruit of the loom.
You want some Hanes, bro? You're done.
Hanes, you gotta go find help to unlock the Hanes. I tell you something right there. There's one other thing I jotted down too. Like whether you want to, people that want to argue, debate about food stamps and SNAP and all these social programs we have that tend to get abused. Can we all just agree, maybe, almost like I said, probably should say if you're dead, you shouldn't be able to vote. If you're dead, should we continue to send SNAP benefits to a dead person?
Yeah, you probably don't need to eat.
Now here's
at
the
least
deal.
Not as much as you used to eat when you were alive.
They're being sent to dead people, but are somehow being used. Okay. They found over 5,000 dead people receiving SNAP benefits right now, and over 500,000 double dipping, basically registered twice. There are over 500,000 people on SNAP right now that are just basically, they just registered for it twice and they get twice the benefit.
And they got it.
And that doesn't go into, so here's my deal. I read something the other day that said like all of our deficit, the trillions of dollars, and they were like, how much of that is just fraud?
Oh gosh, a chunk of it is fraud.
Where
Healthcare
are you,
stuff,
Doge?
all of it's fraud.
Where are you, Doge? I mean, that is, listen, that's when things started turning. When a year ago, when it hit, and you had Elon and his buddies just camped out, and man, every day they were saying, "Cool, look what we found here." Are you kidding me? We got right, and it was all like everybody's excited, like, yes, finally, give this place an enema. Like, stop robbing us blind. And then what happened? Like, what are we now? We got everybody fighting with, I don't know. Maybe somebody knew what they were doing. They shot the one guy that was keeping it together, I guess. Charlie Kirk, we didn't know. Little did we know, Charlie Kirk was apparently the one guy that was keeping.
Right, he kept the team together.
Because they are just rudderless right now. But there you go. That's a sad note. We started talking about church and ended up talking about the world falling apart. But hey.
Well, here I'll give you on a positive note.
Positive one here,
or an embarrassingly positive note, I guess. I was fussing the other day after that event at work because we have one of the girls in the office, the one who's the big woke girl, who apparently doesn't work the marketing events because she has a bad back. Well, I literally have bone on bone in a knee. So after standing up on concrete and walking around for 6 hours, I was pretty bad off. But so the next morning I went and I told her, I said, you know what, if she don't have to work with a bad back, I'm going to get in a doctor's excuse about my knee. And she said, well, I think you could get a senior citizen waiver.
Senior citizen waiver?
Yeah. I said, shut up.
I already had lots of reason not to like you.
Right. And I asked her how old she was the other day, and she said, I'm 24. And I said,
and with a bad back.
No, not this.
Oh,
different girl. Different girl who told me the senior citizen waiver.
And I'm not saying the 24-year-olds can't have a bad back. I just find that a lot of people that complain about a bunch of stuff have convenient injuries when it comes time to.
The one who's bad back is 32. So,
dude, I've got pains I've had for longer than 32 years. I can point to parts of my body that have hurt for longer than that.
Well, I told her, I said, you know how old I'll be when you're my age? 104.
You should have said, I'll be dead.
Yeah. I said, so you
years.
think about that if you want to call me a senior citizen.
There you go. We kind of are. I mean, I get this stuff all the time.
Definitely by them standards.
People's like, hey, don't worry, 60 is the new 40. 60, no, it's not.
No, my body was a lot better when I was 40.
What's that?
I said my body was a lot better when I was 40.
But the upside about getting older and you just get used to stuff is like stuff that used to, like you get a pain somewhere or you do something and it hurts. And when I was younger, man, I'd start fretting. I'd be like, oh my God. Now I'm just like, hey.
Yeah, no, that's it. Yeah. I've been to the doctor for stuff.
Now.
I've been to the doctor for stuff and they say, well, how on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your pain? I say compared to every other day or just like compared to the normal human being.
I mean, getting out of bed in the morning? I don't know.
Right. It's like, I walked in here, so I'm guessing 3.
Hey, life is suffering, okay? It just, there was an upbeat thing that I'm trying to think. I shouldn't just say it like that. I remember something about, life. It was some speaker I saw, and he was did a pretty good job of, what's this idea everybody has about what's life supposed to be? And it's like, that we act like, oh, when things go wrong or when there's suffering or when there's pain, that it's like, oh, we're shocked. It's like, no. That's part of what it is, y'all. I mean, it's part of existence,
Right. Shows you're alive.
You don't get to walk around every day like la 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 la. Yeah. which is also I do say that in some speeches. I always kind of ask, like, how many of you wake up in the morning and just absolutely 100% know nothing is going to go wrong today. It's going to be nothing but green lights today. I mean, today is just going to nothing's going to go wrong, and everybody kind of laugh, whatever I said. Then how can we act like it's such
Every
a
time
shock when
something
something
does.
does, right? Realize that, like, if you just objectively in the morning say, yeah, it's how it works. Like, some stuff's going to go well today, and some stuff's going to suck, and there are going to be some people that probably do things to annoy me, right? You just know that's going to happen. But boy, when it happens,
As I tell people that I work with this, with one of the top dogs at Canes used to say, it's just chicken.
it's just
Ain't nobody dying. Ain't nobody even bleeding. It's
you should
just
not even
chicken.
explain it. You should just use that just to be the random weird old worker. Right? They wouldn't even know, like, what's the deal with Mr. Juan? I don't know, man. Every time something happens, he just says, it's just chicken. What's he talking about? I don't know. It's some story. Bruh,
Another one of them stories he tells.
it's just chicken. It's just chicken. And don't make too much fun of him. He's got a senior citizen exemption.
That's right. That's
Haven't-
right. Yeah.
haven't-
You see,
haven't-
he walks with that limp if he's been standing up for too long.
That's right. That's right. Well, you know what, man?
Limp on out
The
of here.
people went off, and that's why we set these things to start off with, America. So we're not here until next Wednesday talking to you because we probably would. We're going to push the button. Get on out of here. See if any of this stuff's stuck to the magic tape up in the sky. If you want to reach us, you know how to do it, y'all. It's Dave at Juan at protonmail.com. And
right here.
right here, y'all. Whatever you did, whatever
Do
you're
it
looking
again.
at, whatever you're listening to, you did it.
Yeah, you found us once.
You can do it again. You can do it again. Every week, we tell you not a hint, suggestion, or a little implication, y'all. It is a freaking
It's a freaking mandate, bro. You got to do it.
go live your best life. Take your shots. Take your shots. You might have woke up this morning, something hurts. You have to walk around on concrete. Your back's not feeling good.
Right.
Did that stop Juan
Heck no.
from delivering his level best
Nope.
to whatever you were doing to market?
I didn't. I wasn't able to push the train up the hill, but
Morally. You were there to morally
yes,
support it.
I was busy serving popcorn, Dave.
That's right. That's right.
Serving popcorn to the children.
You can't do everything every day, y'all, but you can do something. All right? Not every day is going to be a fantastic day, but it can be a better day depending on how you look at it.
Right.
All right? Put that on a shirt. Be a long shirt. Be a long shirt. All right. So, I think I'm hoping we're on a regular stretch here. And I think
so.
I don't got any traveling coming up. We got another week before the holidays kick in, and so famous last words. But I think we're set to be on
I
schedule.
think we're
again.
good.
Next week, we'll see how that works. But so until then, we're going to go out there, guys. We're going to live a week, take some notes, come back, compare, see how things shook out for you. Till
Do it
then,
again.
all of you, have a wonderful time out there. Be careful. Love you, bro.
Back at you, man. So it's funny because, looking at my Facebook memories today, and it had something from one of the podcasts where we talked about Popeyes. So driving home from church today, I don't know, we had some leftover gumbo at home. So Joey said, well, you want gumbo or you want to pick up something? I said, give me some Popeyes. So we go through the drive-through. I make my standard, 3 spicy wings and some, Cajun rice. And all right, then you get to the window and they say, we out of spicy wings right now. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Got mild. And I said, well, how long is it going to be? And the incompetent worker at the drive-through window leans back in, or just shouts back in rather, and says, he said, how long is it going to be? And then I hear an equally incompetent voice from the inside yell back, tell him I just dropped him. And just dropped them in the grease.
About to say on the floor.
Right. And it's like, well, last time I worked at Popeyes, it was never. So how long generally equates to a time frame. I don't need to know where you are in the process, just how long it's going to be. And
How
it's
long
like,
was it?
All right, just give me the mild wings. And then get the mild wing, and then come back. Oh, we got 1 spicy wing. I said, well, give me the spicy wing and the 2 mild.
You got a science project going on there, dude.
It's like, bro, come on, it's Popeye. It's lunchtime. Granted, it was 1 o'clock, but it's Sunday. It's people coming back from church.
Making me work a little too hard for that spicy wing, man.
Yeah, it's like, how about I'll just go to Popeyes on the next street. How about that?
And man, look out whenever they ask you to pull ahead. At least the one around here. Pull ahead is a bad no. Then it's like, man, just give me whatever you got.
Yeah.
Seriously.
You got any chicken? Just
Whatever
the
you
crust.
do.
You know,
I mean,
like
honestly,
the
just put the crutz. Just grab a handful of the crutz.
Yeah.
Just the.
You got a biscuit? I'm good.
The crutz are the best part.
No, I've said that. Yeah,
Give me a biscuit, some mashed potatoes, and a cup full of crutz. Let's call it even.
I'd pay a little extra for that.
It's over. Go home.